Hey, 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 happy Saturday, everybody. Just wanted to come on here on my social media platform and say thank you so much to all my clients who have been rocking with me. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. You guys are the real MVPs. And I love each and every one of y'all. And have a great, happy Saturday and a blessed weekend. And thanks for rocking with Amanda the Stylist.
I have to live the rest of my life knowing that I wasn't there for my baby. She must have been terrified. She must have been terrified for her children downstairs. You know, I just need some closure. I need some peace with her children to move forward. That's all. We just need some peace and justice. That's all we asking for. She did not deserve this.
It's nearly midnight on a cold October evening. A frantic 911 call cuts through the silence. A man's voice, strained and trembling, confesses he's just shot his fiancée. Police rush to an apartment in Warrensville Heights, Ohio. Inside, they discover 46-year-old Amanda Williams on the floor, bleeding from multiple gunshot wounds. Less than an hour ago, she and 41-year-old Tirrell Edwards were supposedly celebrating a fresh engagement, imagining a life together. Instead, Amanda's future has been brutally cut short. Paramedics race her to South Point Hospital, where doctors battle to keep her alive. But the injuries are catastrophic, and hope fades fast. In the aftermath, Tirrell, the man who placed that desperate 911 call, sits in police custody, insisting he acted in self-defense. Amanda, he claims, was out of control and threatened him with a knife. Her loved ones called it murder, alleging a pattern of abuse that finally erupted. In this true crime documentary, we'll see how Amanda's ambition launched a successful beauty business, how her personal relationship teetered between love and conflict, and how the grisly events of one October night thrust her family into turmoil. Amanda Williams was born on April 18, 1977, in Cleveland, Ohio. She grew up in a household built on perseverance. Her parents, George Williams and Jewel Lewis, stressed the value of hard work. Known for her positive energy, Amanda took on small jobs early, juggling them with her budding fascination for hairstyling. While her peers fixated on typical teenage pursuits, Amanda immersed herself in beauty magazines and hair tutorials. Graduating from Shaw High School in 1995, she took a more traditional path by enrolling at Cleveland State University. By the time she earned her bachelor's degree, though, the allure of the beauty industry had become impossible to ignore. She recognized the power a stylist wields, the ability to transform not just appearances, but self-esteem. Brimming with ideas, she decided to chase that dream wholeheartedly. Amanda's path wasn't easy. She worked odd jobs to support 2 children, Tyler and Trist, all while cultivating a modest hair business from her living room. Friends spread the word that Amanda the stylist had serious talent. Her reputation for positivity was just as magnetic. She was the person who offered genuine compliments, the one who told you to push forward when life got tough. In 2023, after years of saving and honing her techniques, Amanda opened a la Mode Styles in University Heights. The salon's modern decor and upbeat vibe became a draw for locals. She blasted social media with how-to videos, hair care tips, and messages reminding her followers to stay focused on their goals. These glimpses of her life as both a mom and an entrepreneur forged an emotional bond with her audience. Her children, Tyler and Trist, are often featured in her posts. She'd juggle morning school runs, salon appointments through the day, and business planning at night. Clients admired her can-do spirit. For Amanda, hairstyling wasn't just a service. It was a way to spark confidence. She took pride in each makeover, believing she was boosting self-worth along with fresh looks. Despite success at the salon, Amanda yearned for a stable relationship. In 2017, she met Tirrell Edwards, a Cleveland native employed at a nearby hospital who also drove for Walmart as a side hustle. Their personalities appeared complementary, Amanda's outgoing energy balanced by Tirrell's more reserved demeanor. Over time, friends described them as inseparable, posting joyful photos at restaurants and sporting events, drawing cheers on social media. Yet beneath that cheerful veneer, friction simmered. Amanda's closest friends noticed that while her salon business soared, Tirrell's life felt comparatively static. Some said he felt overshadowed by her ambition. At first, they kept their arguments private, believing counseling might help them find a middle ground. Amanda, eternally optimistic, thought dedication could salvage even the rockiest bond. For a time, things seemed to stabilize. Family gatherings were peppered with playful teasing. Pictures showed them smiling, arms around each other. Little did anyone know how quickly those smiles would vanish. 6 years into their relationship, Tirrell proposed. Amanda accepted, posting exuberant photos of her new engagement ring. Well-wishers across her social media cheered. Some saw it as a sign that the couple had finally worked through their rough patches. Others had doubts, especially those aware of the couple's repeated fights and aborted breakups. Over the following year, wedding details never solidified. Amanda rarely mentioned a date, a venue, or a plan. Rumors circulated that she was hesitating, uncertain if Tirrell could truly change. Meanwhile, occasional spats spilled on his social media, quickly deleted but not forgotten. Friends reported that Amanda confided that her relationship felt like walking on eggshells. She still hoped therapy would rekindle the spark, yet her confidence in forever seemed shaky. October 9, 2023, started unremarkably. Amanda finished a busy day at her salon, posted a motivational reel, and headed home. But after 11 p.m., neighbors heard heated voices. Then, gunshots shattered the stillness. Tirrell made the call to 911. "I just shot my fiancée. She came at me with a knife. I had no choice." Police arrived to a horrific scene. Amanda lay on the floor, bleeding from multiple bullet wounds. Tirrell appeared frantic, but kept repeating he'd acted in self-defense. Paramedics rushed Amanda to South Point Hospital, where doctors struggled to save her. Within the hour, she was declared dead. Tirrell was taken into custody for questioning. He held firm that she lunged at him with a knife, cornering him in a volatile argument. Investigators had to figure out whether it was a genuine act of self-preservation or an outburst of anger. Amanda's family, especially her daughter Tyler, refused to accept Tirrell's version. They pointed to a history of tension, suspecting something far darker than an isolated fight. Word of Amanda's death spread rapidly through Cleveland's beauty scene. She was a beloved mentor whose unstoppable energy had inspired many to believe in themselves. Furious social media posts demanded justice for Amanda, branding Tirrell's self-defense narrative as a lie. Hashtags like #JusticeForAmanda trended in local circles. Former clients, colleagues, and neighbors joined the chorus, refusing to let the story fade. In a move that enraged Amanda's supporters, Tirrell was briefly released from custody due to insufficient evidence. The backlash was immediate. Protests formed outside the salon. Family members insisted the authorities were neglecting the truth. They pointed to rumors that Tirrell had once assaulted Amanda. Some claimed she had nearly left him but stayed out of a desire to protect her business, her kids, and the life she'd worked so hard to build. Amanda's funeral took place on October 19, 2023, at the Word Church in Warrensville Heights. The building overflowed with mourners, from longtime clients who considered her a friend, to stylists who admired her hustle, to family members reeling from sudden loss. A slideshow displayed images of Amanda at her salon, hugging her children, smiling in carefree selfies. The final photo showed her with bright eyes and a wide grin, an image that now felt heartbreakingly distant. Tyler spoke, voice trembling, about her mother's unwavering belief that anyone could overcome hardships with persistence. Amanda, she said, had always urged her to ignore life's noise and chase excellence. The heartbreak was palpable when the casket closed. For many, it felt surreal that the woman who'd posted uplifting videos just days earlier was now gone. Amid the sorrow, law enforcement ramped up their investigation. Ballistic experts recreated the crime scene, analyzing the trajectory of the bullets, the distance between victim and shooter, and the blood spatter patterns. Autopsy results showed Amanda had multiple entry wounds, casting doubt on a single panicked shot. Meanwhile, digital forensics combed through Tirrell's phone records, discovering heated text exchanges on October 9th where Amanda demanded he leave and threatened to call police if he didn't. They also uncovered Tirrell's past, a 2019 arrest for allegedly assaulting Amanda, charges that never became a felony, and a 2020 restraining order from a different woman. Rumors of controlling behavior swirled. Investigators suspected Tirrell's calm 911 call might be part confession, part performance, designed to secure a self-defense claim before officers even reached the scene. The biggest bombshell, however, was Tirrell's own cell phone footage. At some point that night, he had started recording on his phone. The choppy video showed Amanda holding a knife, yelling at him to get out. Prosecutors agreed she looked upset, but not irrational. Then, crucially, Amanda put the knife down, stepped back, and told him again to leave. The footage ended abruptly right before the gunshots. According to prosecutors, that final moment of the video told the real story. If Amanda had disarmed, then Tirrell's "she was coming at me with a knife" narrative fell apart. They believed Tirrell used the camera to bolster a self-defense story, but ironically, it captured Amanda ceasing to be a threat right before she died. Police later described this video as the turning point that transformed a he-said-she-said tragedy into a solvable homicide. Amanda's supporters demanded an immediate arrest. The hashtag Justice for Amanda campaign exploded on social media, urging witnesses to speak up. They questioned why Tirrell was walking free despite the confession. Soon, Warrensville Heights Police and the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office announced they had presented evidence to a grand jury. After reviewing the phone footage, ballistics analysis, and witness statements, the jury indicted Tirrell Edwards on charges of murder, felonious assault, and domestic violence. Tirrell briefly disappeared, fueling rumors he might flee. Then, on November 3, 2023, he surrendered, held on $1 million bond. Prosecutors now considered this more than just a deadly argument. They posited it was Tirrell's attempt to retain control over a fiancé determined to break free. In the months leading to trial, details emerged painting Amanda as a determined entrepreneur growing tired of Tirrell's demands. Family members said she'd spoken of wanting him gone, fearful of his mood swings. Forensic investigators mapped each bullet's path, indicating multiple rounds fired in quick succession. A coroner's report suggested some shots struck Amanda from an angle inconsistent with her rushing forward. In early text messages recovered from Tirrell's phone, he seemed apologetic one moment, volatile the next. They pointed to a pattern of arguments that escalated without resolution. Detectives believed Tirrell wrestled with Amanda's surging success, especially as she hinted she no longer needed him. They hypothesized that when she told him to leave for good, he snapped. The trial launched on February 27, 2024, drawing crowds of reporters and curious onlookers. The prosecution's opening statement portrayed Amanda as a devoted mother and businesswoman, shot to death by a man who couldn't stand losing control. They urged jurors to focus on the moment she set the knife aside, calling it the linchpin in disproving self-defense. Tirrell's defense painted a different picture, a chaotic household on the brink. They argued that Amanda's phone video was incomplete and that she might have grabbed the knife again off camera. Stressing that a single snapshot doesn't reveal everything, they portrayed Tirrell as genuinely fearful, claiming she'd threatened him before. But the prosecution was confident the physical evidence, plus Tirrell's contradictory statements, would seal his fate. Forensic experts took the stand. They reconstructed the couple's bedroom and living room, showing where spent shell casings landed. They explained how multiple bullet impacts pointed to repeated firing, not just a single shot in panic. The deputy medical examiner detailed Amanda's injuries, noting angles of entry that implied she wasn't charging Tirrell at the time of the final shots. Cell phone data from that day painted a portrait of intensifying conflict. Amanda's final text told Tirrell to pack his things and warned she was done. The 911 call, replayed in court, featured Tirrell's breathy voice repeating, "She came at me." Prosecutors argued he kept pushing the knife narrative even though the video indicated Amanda had already placed it down. In a bold strategy, Tirrell's defense called him to the stand. He recounted the night in shaky detail, claiming Amanda's rage escalated quickly, that she threatened him, and that he only recorded to protect himself if she later lied to the police. But under cross-examination, prosecutors hammered him. They pointed out that he never attempted to exit the apartment, never called 911 until after firing multiple shots, and that his phone abruptly stopped recording right before the gunfire. Asked why he didn't simply leave once Amanda disarmed, Tirrell insisted she was unstable and might grab the knife again. He said fear overwhelmed him. Yet the prosecution highlighted his calm recitation of details during the 911 call, a stark contrast to his claim of being in mortal terror. The tension in the courtroom was thick. By early March, both sides delivered final appeals to the jury. Prosecutors labeled Tirrell's self-defense claim a fabrication. They outlined the phone footage, ballistic evidence, prior abuse allegations, and Amanda's attempt to send him away. They argued he had the upper hand, guns hidden under the mattress, and shot her when she no longer posed a lethal threat. The defense cautioned jurors that domestic disputes can be messy. They said Amanda's anger that night was real, and a single video clip didn't capture her entire behavior. If she had the knife once, maybe she picked it up again. Wasn't it possible, they urged, that Tirrell acted out of genuine terror, uncertain what Amanda might do next? After several days of deliberation, the jury returned to a packed courtroom on March 4, 2024. They found Tirrell Edwards guilty on 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of felonious assault, and 1 count of domestic violence. He was acquitted of aggravated murder, meaning they didn't believe he had planned the killing for a prolonged period, but still concluded he'd intentionally taken Amanda's life. Judge Gall sentenced Tirrell to life in prison with a possibility of parole after 15 years, plus additional firearm specifications that extended his earliest release to around 24 years. Tyler and Trist, Amanda's children, clung to each other, tears flowing freely. Outside, supporters quietly celebrated the verdict, but were painfully aware it wouldn't bring Amanda back. The news of Tirrell's conviction rippled across Cleveland. Domestic violence advocates hailed it as a triumph for victims' rights, noting how often abusers claim self-defense once a victim tries to leave. Critics argued the court overemphasized the phone video, maintaining it showed only a sliver of the night. However, the majority agreed that the evidence was overwhelming. Amanda's final act was disarming, not attacking. Amanda's salon, a la Mode Styles, reopened under new management, determined to uphold her legacy. Clients who had once looked to Amanda for makeovers returned, sobered by the knowledge that the inspiring woman who'd welcomed them was gone. A large photo of Amanda smiling in the salon now hangs as a reminder of her ambitions, her positivity, and the tragic fate that cut everything short. Tyler, Amanda's daughter, found a new purpose in speaking out against intimate partner violence. She recounted how her mother taught her never to settle, to keep pushing even when life felt impossible. Tyler became an advocate, attending community forums, urging people to look for signs of controlling behavior and raising funds for shelters. Her voice, tinged with both grief and determination, resonated with others who felt powerless. In one emotional interview, Tyler admitted she replayed the night endlessly in her mind, wondering if she could have done more. The guilt weighed heavy, but she channeled it into activism, starting a small foundation that offers emergency resources for mothers seeking to escape abusive homes. "Mom gave so much to others," she said. "The least I can do is continue what she started." Tirrell's new home is a state correctional facility where he faces decades before any chance of parole. Some speculate he remains defiant, clinging to the self-defense narrative. Others suggest regret might haunt him. Yet, with so much evidence presented at trial, experts see little chance of a successful appeal. The coroner's findings, ballistic data, and phone footage built a tight case. Amanda's family monitors any legal filings. Though they've found partial closure, the sense of injustice lingers. They wonder if an earlier intervention, an arrest in 2019 that stuck, perhaps, could have spared Amanda. They question how many warning signs were missed or brushed aside. Amanda's tragedy forced Cleveland to confront domestic violence in new ways. Awareness events highlighted how an abuser might appear mild or supportive in public, while privately undermining or controlling a partner. Organizations used Amanda's name to encourage frank discussions on recognizing red flags. They stressed that even successful, confident women can be targets. Abuse isn't limited by income or status. Her story also gave more weight to the notion that leaving an abusive relationship can be the most dangerous moment. Amanda had grown vocal about her desire for Tirrell to leave. That final push may have escalated tensions beyond repair. Specialists in domestic violence caution that planning a safe exit strategy is crucial. They hope Amanda's case will embolden others to seek professional resources instead of facing a partner's wrath alone. Back at a La Mode Styles, Amanda's presence lingers in every mirror, every station. Clients talk about her exuberant greetings and how she coaxed them out of bad moods. Some stylists who once saw her as competition now praise her memory. They coordinate charity drives, donating portions of their earnings to local shelters. One of Amanda's loyal clients recalled how she'd come in feeling down about job rejections. Amanda not only gave her a fresh look, but also a pep talk that propelled her to reapply. She landed the job 2 weeks later. "That's just who she was," the client said. "She made you believe you could do anything." In a way, the salon stands as a testament to what Amanda achieved through sheer determination, a symbol that she was more than a victim in a case file. She was a mother, a leader, and a dreamer. Now, her friends vow to keep her brand alive so that her joy and passion can still uplift people who walk through those doors. Despite Tirrell's conviction, the question of motive and fear lingers. Did he really believe Amanda was about to kill him, or did he seize an excuse to end a relationship slipping from his grasp? Some of Tirrell's relatives maintain that Amanda's temper was volatile, that he had legitimate reasons to be scared. But the evidence speaks of bullet trajectories and a victim who wasn't armed at the crucial moment. The debate underscores how messy domestic conflicts can be when anger meets opportunity. Amanda's children, Tyler and Trist, struggle forward. They help raise Tylen, Amanda's grandson, weaving stories of a grandmother who used to say, "Confidence starts with your reflection." They wish he could have known her warmth firsthand. Tyler confesses she sometimes still messages her mother's old phone, grappling with the reality that she's gone. Holidays hit hardest. Birthdays, once filled with laughter, are now reminders of what's missing. They hold on to the judge's sentence, at least secure in the knowledge that Tirrell won't be free anytime soon. But that victory can't fill the empty space once occupied by Amanda's unstoppable spirit. Cleveland sees a spike in calls to domestic violence hotlines whenever Amanda's story resurfaces in the news or on social media. Advocates say it's a sign that survivors recognize pieces of themselves in her situation, successful yet silent about deeper problems at home. The hashtag Justice for Amanda movement morphs into a broader call for vigilance, urging neighbors, friends, and coworkers to watch for warning signs. Some stylists throughout Ohio run Amanda's Days, events where they offer free makeovers to women in shelters, symbolically returning dignity and control to those who lost it. "This is exactly what Amanda would do," one stylist explains, recalling how she never let anyone feel unworthy in her chair. Amanda Williams was more than a social media presence. She was a mother, a grandmother, and a mentor who believed in the power of self-confidence. She rose from doing hair in her living room to founding a thriving salon, all while urging others to aim high. Yet behind the positive posts and unstoppable work ethic, she faced a private struggle that ended in gunfire. A jury declared Tirrell Edwards guilty of murder, rejecting his self-defense plea. He'll spend decades behind bars, labeled a killer by the evidence and the law. Meanwhile, Amanda's circle mourns the woman they lost, clutching pictures of her radiant smile. This tragedy reminds us that outward success can hide inner turmoil, and that recognizing the signs earlier might save a life before it's too late. The community is left with a stark question. Did Tirrell truly fear for his life, or was Amanda robbed of hers long after she stopped posing any threat? Share your thoughts in the comments below.